This is Get Real and Heal for Type A women executives and entrepreneurs, where we discuss all things emotional healing and the relationships with yourself, your man, and your money. I'm your host, Jamila McMallow, wife, mother, certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, mindset and relationship expert with over 20 years coaching and mentoring experience. I know that when you're the one that everyone else leans on, the leader and the trailblazer, it can be difficult to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and tend to your own emotions. So I hope today's discussion will allow you a moment to experience a life-changing realization, perhaps even a transformation. So let's begin and get real and heal. All right. So today I wanted to share something with you that you may or may not know about me. And that is that I had my kids at 37, 39, and 41. And, a lot of people might feel like, okay, that's a little later than maybe what's normally done or whatever. But the truth is I love the fact that I had my kids at this stage of my life because at this place where I am, being a woman now in my 40s, I have nothing to prove. I know who I am and what I'm certain of, right? When we're in our 20s, we are just trying to convince ourselves that, we're smart enough, to be respected. We're trying to get the approval or the respect of those that are older than us. When we're in our 30s, we may still feel like we have something to prove, like we're, again, still trying to show those who have more experience or more years that we are on their level. But around your mid-30s, you start to fall in love with yourself, essentially. And I believe that this is like the sweet spot for women. This is when we start to experience our awakening. And so to get married to my amazing husband at this stage, and then to start having children at this stage, for me, with this certainty, with the, like I said, having nothing to prove to anyone just because of where I am, it's just an incredible time. I don't care what other people think about, what we choose to do as parents. There's this level of maturity and self-awareness that I have at this stage of my life that I just absolutely love. And the reality is my children are getting the best version of me, really the best version I've ever been. I breastfed my son until he was 3. I'm still breastfeeding my daughter, and I'll do so until she weans herself, and she's 2.5 now. We're homeschooling our kids, and I really actually am in love with the idea of unschooling and really teaching our kids according to their interests. I'm not into homeschooling being just a school curriculum at home on the computer. No. Unschooling in the sense that it's whatever we create following their interests. And I'm really, really excited about that because 99% of what we learn in school we forget anyway, or we don't even need or use. But the bottom line is that at this age, nobody brings me their okie doke, 2-cent opinions. And yeah, that could be my age, right? Because I'm not open, but it also could be my personality too. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, I met my husband at this stage. And of course, that's my kid's father. And, I have really been living this second chapter of my life. And it's truly the best chapter of my life. So, I mean, you've heard my story if you've been listening to my podcast. And that is that I got married at 20, was married for 14 years, got divorced at 34. And so you understand that, I spent a significant portion of my younger youth years with someone who, was really not deserving of those years, and essentially lived, those first 14 years as an adult in a toxic marriage. And when I went through my divorce, I really felt like my life was over. But I don't want you to believe the hype that you can't, have the life that you want because you're too old, because you're too fat, because you're too this, or because you're too that, because those are simply negative limiting beliefs. It's not true. Okay. Like I said, you know how I spent the first 14 years. But what I did is after that divorce, even though I felt like my life was over, I did my healing work emotionally, mentally, and then, of course, spiritually with God. And I came out of that situation as a different woman, a woman with a completely different set of standards, behaviors, and desires. And, I truly was a new and better version of me, one that was now ready to receive that blessing, of meeting my husband and living the life that I am today. And that's really why I love the work that I do with my married clients, because they already have the great guy. They just have to do their healing and mindset work so that they too can become a powerful co-creator of a marriage and relationship that thrills them and their husband. So, I say all this to say that you get to reinvent yourself at any age. You get to reinvent your life at any age. And you get to reinvent your marriage right now. Nobody, including you, is stuck nor to this or to that to live the life that they want right now. And so I wanted to share that with you because as this being the last episode of season 1 of the Get Real and Heal podcast, I really just wanted to end it on a note of really speaking more into relationships with men, because in season 2 coming up in 2023, I'm going to be kicking off in January. I am absolutely going to be speaking more into topics that relate to women who are married to good men, but who perhaps are feeling some sense of dissatisfaction or lack of fulfillment. So whether you're single and desire to be married to a good man, or you're already married to a good man, you will find season 2 to be a very powerful series of discussions around topics that are going to hit home, in areas that are happening in your life right now. And I'm really excited about it because the truth is my work, my emotional empowerment method, my high-powered healing process is just such a powerful way for me to help my clients uncover, the childhood trauma that is directly responsible for how they are experiencing their relationships with men, their relationships with money. And of course, it affects how they are in their business or career and how they view themselves, their relationship with themselves. And so because of that, it being so powerful and it getting to the root of the problem, I am literally able to help my clients unravel their money blocks and money stories, okay? Their feelings of imposter syndrome or lack of confidence or low self-esteem or not feeling beautiful in their own skin. All of those are things that my work helps my clients to solve. But what I do with my hands tied around my back and my eyes closed is to help my clients have happy, healthy relationships with good men. I help them to do the inner work necessary in order to show up as a powerful co-creator with a good man. And so I'm really thrilled and excited about this because, yes, like I said, the work that I do is going to help my clients ultimately make more money. Yes, it is going to help them to grow their business or, get a promotion. Those are all amazing, incredible results that my clients have gotten. But like I said, the main area that I'm going to be speaking into and the main area that you're going to see me focusing on is the main thing I've always done. I mean, you can look back at any of my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You scroll down far enough because I've been doing this specifically focused on the transformational coaching space since 2018. I've been coaching and mentoring for over 20 years, but I've been focused on helping women in this way since 2018. And I'm telling you that I have always spoken about women figuring out how to have happy, healthy relationships with men by, of course, learning how to have a happy, healthy relationship with themselves first. And what I'm not about is a bunch of, tips and tricks and dating stuff or whatever. I mean, who cares about any of that stuff? That's like, how can I put it? That's like slathering gravy on garbage. Okay. It still stinks. It's not going to work long term because you're not really addressing the problem, which is that you got to take the trash out, girl. You got to take the trash out. And the type of women that I work with are not women who have a victim mentality. It's not women who are just wanting to stay in toxic relationship patterns. It's not women who are currently in a toxic relationship. I don't take those type of women on as clients. Why? Because I know for myself, when I was in my toxic relationship, there was really nothing anyone could do for me. I wasn't able to really create anything healthy until that relationship ended. And even though at the time I didn't want it to end, and at the time it hurt deeply, now looking back, I understand that that is the absolute best thing that ever could have happened to me, because had it not, I would not be where I am today. And again, I have to give the credit to God, because he guided me through all of it. He helped me to go through a process that allowed me to move to a completely new level in who I am, and have, the kind of relationship that I am able to have with my husband. And that process is the one that I take my clients through. I don't teach or guide my clients through anything that I haven't done myself. I am my first and best testimonial. And the one thing that I can say that I have absolutely mastered is how to have a good relationship with your husband, starting with getting him in the first place, finding him in the first place. So that's why I say, whether you're single or already married to a good man, the process has the same powerful effect in that it helps you to have that happy, healthy relationship. Because I'll tell you this, if you're already married to a good man, but you haven't done your healing work, you're going to find yourself feeling bored. You're going to find yourself feeling unfulfilled. You're going to find yourself feeling dissatisfied. You're going to find yourself feeling like there's not enough excitement in your relationship. And I'm just going to let you know that doesn't have anything to do with your husband. It has to do with you and your background and what's familiar to you. If you grew up in a very chaotic environment, that's what's going to be familiar to you. And so peace, calm, healthy communication are foreign to you. And so your brain is like, what is happening? And therefore, you are going to try to create drama in order to make things more familiar and more normal for you. And so that's not what you want, right? Consciously. But the truth of the matter is that's what's going on subconsciously. So that's the kind of stuff I help my clients to get rid of. And that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be digging into, in season 2. And so I'm really excited about it because, if you've already got the great husband, then you've already done kind of the hardest part, right? You already have him, but you have to learn how to be in that relationship. And that's the part that is the struggle. And that's the part that I am excited to start talking into. And when I say that I have mastered being in a happy, healthy relationship with a man in marriage, I don't say that to say that I know everything. I don't even say that to say that I am the source of the expertise that I have. I'm not. However, through application, through experience, through the doing, I have learned how to help my clients create this in their own lives. And that's what's powerful about what I do. One of the things you want to be careful of if you are experiencing challenges in your love life is just simply going for someone that's only going to help you address the surface problem, wanting to teach you strategies and tips and tricks, because it's not the strategies that are holding you back. Okay. Even if you want to go maybe a non-traditional route, maybe the hiring a matchmaker, all of those things, those are all methods, right? But here's the thing. You are still the same person you were before you hired them, before you tried any other avenue. And if you don't change who you are being, if you don't heal your past, if you don't understand and learn how to behave, how to function in a happy, healthy relationship, then it doesn't matter if one falls into your lap. You're not going to know what to do with it. Many of us never saw a happy, healthy relationship modeled for us. And so we don't have that kind of history in our brain to draw upon. And we need to be taught, right? We need to be taught. And first and foremost, we can't learn something new if we don't believe it's possible. And so that's why the healing work, the mindset shifting is so incredibly important, because that's the foundation. Because it's going to change your beliefs. Because if you believe that all men are liars, or all men are cheaters, or you can't rely on them, or all these other negative things, and yet you've married a great guy who loves you and supports you, you're going to feel like a fish out of water in that relationship. Or if you're single and you believe those things and you keep finding yourself in relationships with guys that are liars and cheaters, etc., well, that's why. Because your brain thinks that's the truth, and it's going to set out to prove you right. And you're always going to attract what's familiar and what you believe to be true and possible for you. So that's just kind of an overview and a quick preview of what's going to be coming up in season 2. And it also is, just giving you a little bit more background on me and what I do and why I just love it. And it's primarily because I understand what it's like to be in a toxic relationship. I understand what it's like to be cheated on. I understand what it's like to be abused physically, emotionally, financially. I understand all of that. And sometimes we can feel like, we don't even, number one, know how we got into that situation. And then when we're out of it, we don't even know how to pick up the pieces. But when we do, and we find love again, it can be an absolutely amazing and incredible thing that literally erases the past. I don't remember what it's like to be married to my first husband. I don't remember what it's like to be in love with him. The feelings, those emotions are gone. They're just gone. It's not even like I can connect with them. They just don't exist anymore, because I have so many new experiences, so many new memories that are so good with my husband now, that the past just has literally become irrelevant. I hope I'm making sense. And so I say all this to say that you definitely want to stick around for season 2. And you definitely want to go to my website, coachjamila.com, and watch my free training, okay? So that you can watch my free webinar, get the information that you need to understand and really take a deep dive on perhaps why you're having some challenges in your relationships with men, whether you're married to a good man or desire to be. And if you have any questions, if you want to explore what working with me looks like, then absolutely reach out. Do not hesitate. But I want to say this, and I'll just circle back to what I said at the beginning. You get to reinvent your life at any stage. My clients are women who are typically in their mid-30s all the way up into their late 50s, okay? And they have all been able to heal their past and move forward and create a new life that thrills and excites them. If they're married with their husband, if they're single, moving on into a relationship with a good man, okay? And so don't feel like you're stuck. Don't feel like there's nothing that you can do. Yes, you can. And you, my friend, you are your most valuable asset and most valuable resource that is worth investing in. Please don't try to DIY your relationship challenges just simply by watching YouTube videos, by simply downloading that free PDF, even of mine. Yes, absolutely consume, binge all my free content, but just know that the real transformation doesn't begin until you step into my container. Now, are there many transformations? Are there powerful shifts that happen even just in having a conversation with me, even just listening to one of my videos, even just listening to this podcast? You better believe it. People reach out to me all the time and tell me, wow, that's what I needed, et cetera, et cetera. But what I want you to understand is, or how I want you to look at this is, okay, if this free stuff is changing my life, what in the world could happen if I stepped into investing in myself to work with Jamila one-on-one or in a group program with her? What would my life look like? What could I transform? What could I do? The sky is the limit. So don't limit yourself, okay? And I want to thank you for listening to season 1. I want to thank you for following me. I want to thank you for being here with me on this journey. You know, the first season of your podcast, you're always kind of working out the kinks, and, you know, things may not flow or as smoothly as you like, or et cetera, maybe to some of the other podcasts that you've listened to that have been around for a while. But guess what? You can't deny that my content ain't fire. Because I know what I'm talking about, yo. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to talk about just a bunch of general subjects. I am speaking into my expertise, okay? I am speaking into what I can do with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back, okay? And that is helping you to heal the childhood trauma that is directly responsible for how you are showing up in relationships with men. And yes, lovely side effects are money and your relationship with yourself. But ultimately, and like I said, as we're going to be focusing on, in your relationships with men. So if you want to transform your love life in 2023, whether you already have the good man or are desiring to have one, then you definitely want to stay tuned. You definitely want to get connected to me on all of my social media platforms. And you can do that by visiting my website at CoachJamila.com. So I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you so much for listening. And as we close out season 1, I look forward to your feedback. Please make sure you follow. Please make sure you review this, like it, so I can get, some more traction in that regard. And please stay tuned for season 2. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Be sure to visit CoachJamila.com, where you'll find the links to connect with me on social media and more information on my private bespoke coaching for Type A high-performing women executives and entrepreneurs.